Don't forget to go to asskicking.com for pound the best home health and beauty fragrance products.
Hi, you're watching Dante's Boxing Nation. Woo!
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So Spike O'Sullivan knocks out Antoine Douglas in the 7th round tonight. Congratulations to Spike. From the beginning, the first 30 seconds into this fight, I had already said Douglas doesn't look the same. I mean, he took a year layoff from the Kurzitse loss, which clearly suggests it was very difficult for him to deal with that defeat psychologically, which is understandable. I mean, he lost in a war, and Antoine Douglas was, to his credit, going toe-to-toe with the much stronger Kurzitse in that fight. You know, when I watch fights like this, a guy coming off of that kind of loss, you never really know if they're going to ever be the same. And what I thought about when I was watching this fight is I thought about Keith Thurman. I thought about something Keith Thurman recently said in interviews when it comes to the effect, the impact of losing when you have momentum and you lose a fight. I mean, he was pretty much suggesting it's an adverse effect. You know, a loss will throw you to the back of the line. You know, he was saying, now don't get me wrong, you can get back to where you were, but he was just talking about the risk of taking a loss. And we all know that this is at a time when Errol Spence is calling him out. So when you look at how Antoine Douglas looked in this fight, he looked like a shadow of himself. He did not look anywhere near like he looked when he was undefeated. And this is the risk you take when you lose in a sport like this, especially when you lose in a war. And we all know that if Keith Thurman were to fight Errol Spence, it would be a war. Just like Kell Brook versus Errol Spence. It was a war. It was a very competitive fight that ended in a knockout loss for Kell Brook. Just like this fight tonight did for Antoine Douglas. Credit to Spike O'Sullivan. He took advantage of the opportunities and he dominated and knocked out Antoine Douglas. It almost seemed like every power punch that Spike threw was able to land. So it's unfortunate to see Antoine Douglas with his great story, him and his sister being the first siblings, sister and brother, to go to the Olympic trials, having that deep amateur pedigree, and was looking so good as an undefeated prospect before he ran into that Kurzitse wall. And now, he has to consider retiring. So we'll see what'll happen. Congratulations to Spike. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm going to go ahead and do a live show. So tune into the live show. It should be fire tonight after this blowout of Billy Joe Saunders versus Lemieux is over. I'm watching that fight right now as we speak. Billy Joe Saunders in there looking like Golovkin when Golovkin decided to just box Lemieux and eventually get him out of there. So yeah, once again, tune into the live show after this fight is over. We should go live about 20 to 30 minutes after the fight. That's all.